It is 6 o'clock, May 21st, and I'd like to call this board meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. And today we had a graduation, and it made me start thinking, when I saw the graduate, some of y'all's already heard me say this earlier to retirement, but as the students came across, you'd hear cheers from different sections. And I'm really saying this to the teachers and to our admin, because you'd hear cheers over here and you'd hear cheers over here for each name. But then there was a couple of kids that came across that was kind of quiet. It was silence. No cheering, no clapping. And I started thinking, what motivated them to come across the stage? And it was the teachers. The impact that the teachers had, ones that are at home listening, I hope y'all realize the impact y'all have on these students. Because like I said earlier, we don't know what they come from. We can't change where they come from. We can't change their upbringing, but we can change their future, and that's what y'all doing. So I know on behalf of the board, it's our last meeting of the school year. Everybody's out tomorrow, half day. I know a lot of them's already going. But we just want to thank the teachers, because y'all were the reason some of them kids actually get to walk across the stage. Y'all provided the motivation for them to go. Y'all provided it. Whether it's an admin or a bus driver, we thank y'all and thank the teachers and thank all the admins for your year y'all have had. I know after tomorrow, everybody's on their summer breaks and enjoying the summer. So thank y'all, and we're going to get started with our meeting, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Wooten.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are delighted to have two rising seniors from Airport High School with us tonight. We have Talon Harlan, who will be leading us in the invocation, and Addison Heron, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Talon is a standout member of the class of 2027 at Airport High School, maintaining an impressive 4.3 GPA while excelling both academically and athletically. He is a dedicated member of the varsity football and golf teams and is actively involved in Beta Club and National Honor Society. He also participates on the school mock trial team and is an active member of Radius Church. Outside of school, Talon demonstrates a strong commitment to service and leadership through his work at Big Air Trampoline Park and his regular volunteer efforts at Midlands Baseball Field. This summer, he will proudly represent Airport High School at Palmetto Boys State. Talon's work ethic, leadership, and involvement make him an outstanding representative of the airport community. Addison is an exceptional member of the class of 2027 at Airport High School. She currently holds a 4.9 GPA, ranks 9th in her class, and has been selected as a junior marshal for this year's graduation ceremony. This summer, Addison will proudly represent Airport High School at Palmetto Girls State. Beyond her academic success, Addison is actively involved in Beta Club, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and student government, where she dedicates herself time to serving both her school and community. She has also applied to become a junior volunteer with the Junior League, volunteers through her church, and demonstrates a strong work ethic by balancing two jobs with Midlands Baseball and Southern Way Catering. Addison's leadership, character, and commitment to service make her a standout student and role model among her peers. Y'all still step to the podium. Go ahead.
All right. I'll be leading us an invocation, or is this better? All right. I'll be leading us an invocation tonight.
Pick it up a little bit.
I guess that would work
There
too.
you go.
That'll work.
All right. There we go. I'll be leading us an invocation tonight, so I believe we're supposed to bow our heads and pray. Lord, I thank you for getting us all here together safely. I pray that we can all just grow closer to you as this meeting unfolds and we all have good conversation. Lord, I thank you for the great school year we've all had, and I really just hope and pray that we all grow closer to you as peers and as friends, Lord. And in your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much.
All right, with no objection, the consent agenda stands approved as presented. And we're going to move on into honors and accomplishments and turn it over to Dr. Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board, and our Lexington2 community. First up tonight, we are going to adjust the order of our Honors and Accomplishments program. Go ahead and bring up our class of 2026 members to the podium. I know we have at least one student who's not able to be here tonight because he is competing in the playoffs with the airport baseball team. We've also got Brooklyn Casey High 2026 members who graduated this morning, and they probably have other plans with their family tonight. So let's go ahead and invite to the podium Airport Principal Matt Shillett and Brooklyn Casey Assistant Principal Miss Amy Rankin to do the honors of introducing us to just a small sampling of the outstanding graduates and members of the distinguished class of 2026.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper, Mr. Key, members of the board, and Dr. Cooper. That was a perfect introduction to a sneak preview into Airport High School's graduating class tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. We're excited about it. I do have 6 amazing students that I'm going to present to you tonight and share a little bit about their accomplishments. There's going to be a lot of wows when I share a lot about these students, but I want to start off with Samantha. All right, all right, there you go, yeah. So this is Samantha Mendez Peleas, and a little sneak preview into tomorrow. This is our valedictorian 2026. She is currently obviously ranked at the top of our class, Airport 2026, with an impressive GPA of a 5.6. She serves as our vice president of the student body, recording secretary for Beta Club, and is the founder and president of our AHS STEM Club, which just started recently. Samantha is also a participant in her Health Careers program and an active member of her church youth group. In addition to her academic leadership achievements, she is an entrepreneur. She launched a small floral business during her sophomore year, which has since grown into a successful custom apparel and branding business. Samantha plans to attend the University of South Carolina to pursue a degree in nursing, with the goal of becoming a diabetic nurse practitioner, and she will make a meaningful impact in the lives of so many others. Thank you, Samantha. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Emma Cook. All right, Emma is an accomplished student who truly embodies what it means for excellence, both in the classroom and beyond. She earned all region honors during the 2025 cheer season, and she was one of our representatives at Palmetto Girls State last summer. She proudly also represents Airport High School as our current and reigning Miss Aquila. Emma is deeply committed to her community with a passion for supporting individuals with special needs. She is actively involved in our Wingmate Club and Special Olympics, experiences that have shaped her future goals in her future career. This fall, Emma will attend Clemson University and major in sociology before pursuing a master's degree in occupational therapy. She has plans to specialize in pediatric special needs, and much of this is due to her experiences at Airport High School. She also hopes to continue her passion for cheer by joining Clemson's club cheer team. Emma Cook. I'd like to bring forward Aiden Vaughn. All right, Aiden is an exceptional student at Airport High School who consistently has demonstrated leadership, dedication, and a heart for service. She's an active member of Beta Club, National Honor Society, our Wingmate Club, and also was a representative for Airport High School at Palmetto Girls State last summer. Aiden is also a committed athlete, competing on both the varsity volleyball and softball teams, while remaining actively involved in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Beyond school, she is deeply engaged in the youth group at Trinity Baptist Church, and this summer, she will continue her growth in faith and leadership as a somersault intern. This fall, Aiden will attend the University of South Carolina with a major in biological sciences before continuing her education to become an orthodontist. Aiden Vaughn. Next up, I present Avery McCree. Avery is currently ranked second in the class of 2026, so there's your sneak preview for tomorrow, as she is ranked number 2 in our class and is really excited to be our salutatorian and has earned every bit of it. She's an active member of Beta Club, National Honor Society, International Thespian Society, and French Club. Avery is a gifted performer and musician, participating in both honors chorus and orchestra, where she has demonstrated exceptional talent and dedication to the arts. And hopefully you've seen over the years, she has been the lead of multiple musicals and opportunities on stages, of course, at Airport and right here in this Performing Arts Center. This fall, Avery will attend the College of Charleston, where she plans to double major in theater and computing in the arts, combining her passion for performance with innovative technology. Avery McCree. Next is Hector Hernandez. I get leadership standing to my left. Hector is an outstanding senior who will not only graduate with his high school diploma, but he absolutely has his associate's degree from Midlands Tech as well. He is the current student body president and is actively involved in the Art Club, National Honor Society, STEM Club, and Beta Club. Hector holds the rank of Cadet Command Sergeant Major and is a member of the JROTC drill team, which recently competed in nationals in Daytona Beach, Florida. After graduation, Hector will attend basic training and will be going through the Air National Guard. Once he completes his training, he will attend the College of Charleston and major in business administration. Hector Hernandez. And our sixth student, as Dr. Cooper said, was unable to be here tonight. He is currently warming up on the field at Airport High School. He is our starting state champion catcher, and is Justin Seitler, and definitely a little Go Eagles. We compete in Game 2 of the lower state championship tonight at Airport. Big deal. So we're excited. And you couldn't ask for a better leader to be behind the plate. Justin Seitler, and for those that remember, he's who I had speak at Convocation earlier this school year, which seems not that long ago, but it's going way back. But Justin is a standout student athlete known for his leadership, character, and dedication both in the classroom and on the field. He's a member of the National Honor Society, was selected as a junior marshal, and also serves as a student ambassador leadership team at Trinity Baptist Church. On the field, Justin is a standout varsity catcher for Airport High's baseball team. He's earned all region honors during the 2025 season, and obviously, as I just said, he played a key, crucial role in leading his team to the 4A state championship, which was obviously the first in school history last year. This fall, Justin will attend Columbia International University, where he plans to major in business administration while continuing his baseball career at Columbia International. And let's give a round of applause for Justin Seitler. 6 amazing students of about 300 that are going to walk the stage and graduate tomorrow. These students couldn't represent our community and our school board any better, and congratulations to the 5 that are here and the 1 that is not. And we look forward to graduation tomorrow, and go Eagles.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Cooper. This morning, I, along with many of you guys, had the honor of attending the 2026 graduation ceremony at Brooklyn Casey High School. And tonight, I have the pleasure of introducing just a few of those outstanding seniors to you. After I introduce each of them to you, they're going to come up and tell you their next plans in their future. First up, I have Leah Sullivan. For 4 years, Leah has exemplified discipline, dedication, and service through our JROTC program. As part of the Bearcat Battalion, she participated in the accreditation inspection just a few weeks ago, which earned an impressive score of 97%. Her commitment to excellence and leadership has made a lasting impact on both the program and her school community.
I'm Leah Sullivan, and I plan on enlisting in the Navy and leaving for basic training next month.
Okay, next up we have Bradlyn Sturkey. Bradlyn is an honor of distinction graduate whose achievements extend far beyond the classroom, from excelling on the tennis court and navigating the challenges of the golf course to leading the senior class and maintaining outstanding academic success. Bradlyn has made a lasting impact in every endeavor. Even in the extensive list of accomplishments, she's remained committed to serving others as a dedicated Bearcat buddy.
Good evening. My name is Bradlyn Sturkey, and I will be attending Clemson University in the fall to major in architecture.
We do have one that could not be here with us tonight due to some graduation celebrations planned for this evening. Tia Sumter is an outstanding student leader whose dedication to our JROTC program has exemplified discipline, leadership, and service. Through her commitment leading by example and inspiring those around her to succeed, she's made a meaningful and lasting impact on her peers. Tia's active participation in the Bearcat Battalion also played an integral role in the success of this year's accreditation inspection. In the fall, she will be attending the University of South Carolina, where she will plan to continue their journey towards excellence in leadership. Next up, we have Mauricio Ramirez Perez. He is an exceptional student leader whose high school career has been defined by academic excellence, determination, and achievement. From excelling in dual enrollment courses to earning the seal of biliteracy and becoming an innovation completer, he has consistently demonstrated a commitment to raising the standard in both academics and leadership. Through his hard work, talent, and perseverance, he's distinguished himself as a standout in every endeavor he's pursued.
Hey everyone, my name is Mauricio Ramirez Perez, and in the fall I'm going to attend Midlands Technical College to major in writing.
Next up, we have Carter Bessinger. Carter is an outstanding student leader whose enthusiasm, talent, and dedication have enriched every aspect of school life. Through his service as a student activities director, his performances as a member of the honor choir, and his recognition as Mr. Bearcat, he's brought energy and school pride to the entire community. As a graduate earning honors with distinction, Carter exemplifies the powerful impact of leadership, character, and academic excellence.
Good evening. My name is Carter Bessinger, and in the fall, I plan on going to USC to major in education.
Okay, lastly, but certainly not least, we have Nicholas Oliver. Through their hard work and determination and academic excellence, Nicholas has successfully completed the early college program where he successfully earned his associate's degree. Graduating with honors with distinctions, he's just demonstrated an exceptional commitment to his education and has already built a strong foundation for future success.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nicholas Oliver, and in the fall, I plan to attend USC to go major in statistics and minor in theater.
Hello, Ms. Hux.
As I mentioned before, this is just a small group of our outstanding seniors. We are incredibly proud of the class of 2026. Go Bearcats.
And I want to congratulate all the members of our class of 2026. And as we listen to these stories of our students, it just reaffirms what we already know, and that is that our students can and do go everywhere when they graduate. Let's give them another one. Next, several of our welding students at the LexingtonTwo Innovation Center recently won scholarships during an annual welding competition. And we have some special guests from the sponsoring organization coming to the podium to help us with Director Sharia Wilson to hear about the competition and our scholarship winners. Ms. Wilson?
Thank you, Dr. Cooper, board chair and members of the board. We had 7 students win ARC Labs scholarships, 2 of which are seniors and graduating seniors. They are Max Hernandez Vallegos, who won a $1,000 scholarship, and Mr. Brody White, whose scholarship totaled $5,625. I would like to also invite our new partners from the Art Labs to come forward to discuss how these students compete and win these scholarships. They are Mr. Seth Rigsby, he is the Director of Admissions, along with the lead instructor, Shane Roberts.
Good evening. My name is Seth Rigsby. I'm the Director of Admissions with Arc Labs Welding School. I oversee both our Columbia and Charleston campuses. Thank you for allowing us to be here and speak with you tonight. We wish we were visiting at a happier time and wanted to quickly share how much Bo Elkins meant to his students and partnering with us here at Arc Labs. Bo brought multiple students to our welding program or our welding competition this year, where their skills were fully on display, not only in the shop, but also in the written portion of the competition, where his students scored the highest of 6 career centers that competed with us this year. It speaks highly to his instruction that not only did he test with the students in the shop, but also the finer details of welding, which make a big difference in the field. This is the 3rd year in a row we had our competition on our Columbia campus, and that's due to the fact that school districts like yours are really pushing kids into the trades. Trades are very important for our young people. Opportunity is there, and thank you for opening doors for these students and providing these opportunities. We host 4 different competitions across the state: Columbia, Charleston, Rock Hill, and Piedmont. Our competition is not easy. This year in Columbia, we had over 40 students competing tooth and nail. Everyone wins at our competition. You compete, you win a scholarship. Brody here won 3rd place. That's very good in terms of 40 students across 6 different career centers. We look forward to partnering with school districts more in the future and providing these opportunities for students to look elsewhere besides just 4-year, 2-year universities. The trades are happening now, and it is growing. To speak more on our competition and the testing we put these students through, the type of opportunities these career fields present to our young people, and the training they receive in our school, let me introduce our lead instructor in Columbia, Shane Roberts.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Shane Roberts. I as well would like to speak on Bo. I met Bo. I taught at the high school the last 2 years in Lawrence, and I met Bo going through the rec. I knew I was going to like him right out the gate because he pulled his phone out during the rec class. He said, "Man, we got to watch the Carolina football game." I said, "Yes." But it was an honor to have him up and his students to be able to stand up here and speak on his behalf, and let everybody know what he meant to us. It was great. But I personally, just speaking on the competition, I think it's great to see kids coming into the trade. I was a kid that grew up in high school, wasn't a great kid, didn't do good in school, and coming through the trade, I joined the union at a young age, 18 years old, and I'll have 20 years in the trade next year. It does my heart good to see kids come in, especially troubled kids or kids that people give up on and say, man, they'll never make it. But they come through our program and they send us pictures of their check stubs and they're making $3,000 and $4,000 a week, right? So the trades is growing. I personally think that we need to push people more towards it, kids more towards it, because the industry is continuing to grow. The jobs are continuing to get more and more and more. And I think there's a shortage of 50,000, I think it's 50,000, right? 90,000 this year of welders in the United States alone. So it's a great thing. Trades is not a bad thing. It's not something that's going to go away. Nobody wants to work hard no more. Nobody wants to put the work in, and we push our kids to college, but being in a trade is a success too. What I would like to say is our competition, it brings different high schools from all over together. You kind of see, it lets you see what kind of teachers you have, instruction. It lets you see what kind of devotion you have from the teachers, and it gives every campus a chance to win a scholarship for that kid who may not can afford to go to school, right, and have the opportunity to go to school because his grades ain't there, because he struggles in school. I think it's a great thing. So what we would like to see is more high schools participating, bringing more people in, funding those welding programs, funding those automotive programs, funding those programs for the kids that may not go to college, that are going to work with their hands and are going to do more with their hands in the trade, and that's the path they're going to take, because it's definitely worth it. We see the success stories time after time after time. These kids come in and 6 months later they're leaving and they're going to make 3 figures a year. I mean 6 figures a year right out of school, over $100,000 a year, 19, 20 years old. So the success is there. Just keep funding it and pouring into it and sending them our way, and we would love to have more people participate next year. I hope we have 400 kids. I mean, I would just love to see it. I love the trade. I love welding. And I love that Brody's going to be with us in August, and hopefully we'll be talking about him 6 months from now. Maybe he can send me some money.
Moving on, Miss Amanda Poole, who leads our small animal care program at the Innovation Center, will tell us about the program selection for a special work partnership benefiting our students.
Good evening. So as Dr. Cooper said, I am the instructor for the Small Animal Care Program at the Innovation Center. This year, we had the opportunity to partner with CVETS, which is a specialty and emergency clinic in Columbia. The students were able to go in throughout the year and be able to observe all of the different specialties that they have. I have 2 students here with me today who are going to talk about their experience at CVETS this past semester. So, Lacey.
Good evening. My name is Lacey Ziegler, and I would like to start by saying thank you all for having me and my classmate speak about the Plant and Animal program at LexingtonTwo Innovation Center. Since I was younger, I have always dreamed about being a vet, and I am embarrassed to admit I didn't really know what all went into becoming a vet, and this program has definitely helped me figure that out. CVETS has allowed me to see what I have learned in my class in real life action, and see the teamwork and knowledge and passion that it takes to do such. I am eternally grateful for the experiences, and I've seen things that I did not think I would in high school, and it has definitely opened my eyes to some amazing experiences. I hope that this program stays open for younger people who come through behind me and get to experience such amazing things. Thank you all so much.
Good afternoon. My name's Abigail Gartman, and I was blessed to have the opportunity to go out to see vets and work and be around them. I got to see radiology, which was really cool. It actually helped me. I would love to go do that. Being able to see and ask questions while they're working was a major help in seeing everything and being able to find out things I may not have been able to learn by just looking at a piece of paper or maybe doing a worksheet. It gives you that opportunity to be hands-on, and it was very helpful. And I also enjoyed being in the emergency room. You see a lot of things come in, and maybe sometimes you're not sure. You don't know if you actually want to get into this profession, how you're going to handle it when you get there. Being in the emergency room was one of those experiences where you're like, can I do this? I think I can. I enjoy being able to see all of them and being able to help. And CVETS has really motivated me and pushed me even more. Thank you.
Thank you again for having us tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Poole. And now Ms. Laura Roby, our technical theater manager with the Performing Arts Center, will introduce us to 2 students. We talked some time ago about having a program that teaches back-of-the-house management for an environment such as a Performing Arts Center. So, Ms. Roby?
Thank you. Good evening, Chairman, Dr. Cooper, members of the board, and cabinet. Thank you for allowing us to recognize graduating seniors Emily Crow and Sid Peterman, who I've had the honor of working with and teaching over the last 2 years. I'm Laura Roby, Technical Theater Manager at the LexingtonTwo Performing Arts Center. In particular, we are recognizing them tonight for completing their technical theater internship at the PAC this school year. And as a matter of fact, we have our very first intern from last year here with us tonight, helping us with the live stream, Raylan Arnold. She's back from her freshman year in college, and she will be working at the PAC this summer. During this internship, Emily and Sid have learned the basics of lighting, audio, rigging, set design and building, stage management, and other aspects of technical theater and managing live performances. They have assisted backstage with our events at the PAC, including Casey's production of Shrek Jr., Saluda River's Lion King Kids, and Airport's Cinderella that included students from Airport, BC, and Fulmer. They also both presented at the Palmetto Dramatic Association Festival this year at Coastal Carolina University, where they received individual superior ratings in stage management and set design. I'd like each of them to come up to introduce themselves and share their plans after graduation.
Good evening. My name is Emily Crow. As Ms. Roby said, I was one of the interns. My plans are in the fall to go to Anderson University to study art education, and hopefully after that get my teaching degree and certification, and maybe even come back to Lexington too.
Right.
Hello, my name is Sid Peterman. In the fall, I plan to attend USC Upstate to major in English and hopefully get my master's in library information sciences.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Ms. Roby. And finally tonight, Dr. Burgraff will speak briefly about our ongoing assessment project regarding math training, and 25 of our LexingtonTwo teachers participated in this, and how it's impacting their instruction in their classroom. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dr. Cooper, I'm pleased to share tonight very briefly about an ongoing partnership that we have with the State Department for this ongoing assessment project, math training. There are a handful of series of professional development offerings that they give, and most recently, as Dr. Cooper said, we had 22 teachers participate in the additive reasoning training. It helps teachers understand the learning progression of how students think through analyzing their work samples and developing what are the next steps to grow them in their understanding of mathematics. So we have the pleasure of one of our participants here tonight, Nikki Wojcik from Congaree Elementary, is going to share just a little bit about her experience going through those 4 days of professional development.
Good evening. As Dr. Burgraff said, I'm Nikki Wojcik. I've been with the district for 20 years, all 20 at Congaree Elementary School. I currently teach 2nd grade, but I've also taught 3rd grade. I was very fortunate to attend this training. It was the best professional development I have attended, hands down, in my 20 years as a teacher. I left every day of the 4 trainings with something that I could have immediately implemented in my classroom the very next day without a lot of extra work, a lot of extra planning. Again, a game, the online assessment pieces that they gave us, just ideas of just getting great information on each student. The biggest takeaway for me was we looked at the progression, and it has a progression for addition, subtraction, and then based in knowledge for students. And when you analyze that student's piece of work, you were immediately able to see where they fell within that progression and know what those next steps were, because we also addressed the big ideas within this program as well. And knowing where they fell in that progression, you also knew where their big ideas, what they had knowledge on and what they didn't have knowledge on, and where to immediately meet that student where they were. It's a great piece to help plan your whole group instruction, but most importantly, that small group instruction that we know is so important to each and every one of our students. Moving forward, I think that this can transform daily teaching for all that experience this training, and even those that are able to share with your peers and coworkers. I know that I came back very excited, had conversations with my math coach, I had conversations with my team, and like, this is just a very powerful way to get easy data, and it's not a whole lot of extra work to get to that point. So it's something that, again, will guide that instruction for you next year, for us next year, and help lead those and plan those small groups for your students. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight, but most importantly, I appreciate the opportunity to attend that professional development, and I hope that it is something that we can continue training other teachers on, because it was so powerful. Thank you.
All right, thank y'all. We are now going to move into public participation. Tonight, we have 3 people signed up to speak, and they will each have 5 minutes, and we just ask that no profanity be used. We also ask that you do not use staff or students' names. The board will not give feedback per policy and will receive all comments as information only. So with that, our first person tonight will be Brian Having. He will be speaking on 7G, the recruitment and hiring and some of the harassment policies under 7G.
Thank you.
All right, Brian, you have 5 minutes.
As you indicated, I have some concerns about 7G on the agenda, which includes several changes to policies on recruitment, hiring, and harassment. In 6 of the policies, immigrant status is marked as being struck out as a protected group. Isn't immigration status still protected under U.S. Code 8-1324B, though? And that law clearly doesn't protect those who are not authorized to work. If the concern is that the phrasing is confusing, I imagine the legal staff could find how to put in a parenthetical authorized, for example. Or is the goal to signal that the district intends to go with the option 4 under that law and hire citizens in all cases where people are equally qualified as they are allowed to? I wonder if the wording in any case is a little blunt, and the change could be used as evidence by someone who thought they weren't hired by the district because of their status in a lawsuit to demonstrate intent by the district not to hire such people. In 4 of the policies on harassment, immigrant status and English language speaking are being removed from the list of groups protected. Unless the district is attempting to condone harassment of our immigrant students and English language learners, why remove them from the list? Even if some other rules have changed, can't the district prevent harassment about anything it chooses, since harassment is bad? Or is the district particularly barred from preventing it here? I wonder again if the parents of a bullied child who didn't think the district did enough would use this change as evidence of the district's intentions in this matter towards children who aren't native English speakers or who are immigrants. Finally, 3 policies had changes about whether sexual orientation was a category of person who harassment should be particularly called out against. I'm assuming the district isn't seeking to condone harassment based on sexual orientation. One of the policies with changes had the wording switched to nonconformity with sex-based stereotypes put in instead. Assuming the district reads nonconformity with sex-based stereotypes to also include non-heterosexual orientations, I wonder if that change could be put in all of the places where things are being struck out to make sure everything is taken care of. Finally, a few meetings ago, changes to IHAMs were put through without the usual number of readings on an accelerated schedule, and I think that allowed some wording to come in that we might regret, the district might regret later on, because it doesn't mention that things of scientific value or historical value or literary value are also protected. It just calls out the law on what counts as obscenity. And for things like 7G, I would hope that we wouldn't rush necessarily to push those through for any particular reason, and that we err on the side of giving extra time to discuss things and make sure they have the exact wording that you want so we don't regret it later. Thank you all for all you do.
All right, thank you. And next up, we have Melissa Goforth, and she is speaking on 7G also. Melissa, you will have 5 minutes.
Good evening and happy summer. With testing, end-of-year accomplishments, it has been a month for our Lex2 staff and parents, and I cannot imagine doing both at the same time. Tonight, I'd like to firmly speak against 7G. I am rotating off as a parent from my 2-year term on the Title I committee. The audacity of this Board of Trustees to try and eliminate protections while also trying to promote a new English-Spanish immersion program and promoting our Title I, Title III achievements. Those applicants are often part of our community, the LexingtonTwo family. Why remove a policy protection already in place while also being a party to the ongoing lawsuits against this district? This week, I checked the federal courthouse for updates on the latest lawsuits from LexingtonTwo, or against LexingtonTwo. Allison Barr's plaintiff versus Lexington County School District 2 defendant. I wonder if FOIA requests can shed light on the most recent audio recording added to the docket. Are these changes a result of those lawsuits? Surely the immigrant ones are not. We will be keeping an eye on those over the summer. I learned today that our librarians, media specialists, work a 195-day contract, 5 additional days, but do not get compensated more. Other districts, however, typically pay a stipend. I hope you would consider that in future budgets. Ms. Rucker, I saw the announcement that you serve as a member of the South Carolina Board Advisory Committee, School Board Advisory Committee to Carolina's Academic Leadership Network, CALN. So I attended their SC School Board Candidate Training Workshop at the flight deck last weekend. Thankfully, there were no potential LexingtonTwo school board candidates there. As you serve that entity in our school district, I believe it's important that you are publicly made aware that that training was anything but nonpartisan. And I'm happy to share a recording of
Point
the
of
entire
order.
workshop.
I
if
don't
you have
think this is
questions.
to 7G.
I'm moving on. Lastly, while I am concerned about the lack of leadership and empathy with the LexingtonTwo Board of Trustees, it is infuriating and rather anti-public education. It in no way reflects on the incredible service and care we've been given at Riverbank. Just this week, a teacher suggested that I come work for the district, and it is a fantastic district to work for, but I wouldn't be able to speak freely here. That's the only reason. I want to say publicly what an absolute joy it has been for our son Jackson to attend Riverbank Elementary School from 4K to 5th grade. Yesterday was graduation. Today they did their 5th grade walk-through hallway march. Yesterday we also saw our other senior graduates walk through, which was awesome too. They had a lot of fun, and I look forward to Jackson being one of those graduates someday. We love our Sea Turtle family, appreciate their hard work, their patience, their motivation to make a difference, and not just my children, but about 1,000 more each year in our school alone. I've seen so many things these past few years at Riverbank, but most of all, I've seen that staff pour their hearts into these children, and yet their cup still always runneth over. Thank you, Riverbank. We're going to go forth in LexingtonTwo. We're excited to learn and make a difference at Northside Middle. Thank you.
All right, the next speaker we have tonight is Jackson Goforth, and he will be speaking on 7D.
Good evening. My name is Jackson Goforth. I go to Riverbank Elementary. Tomorrow is my last day of school. I have gone to the school since 4K. That's 7 years. I've gone for 7 years. I've had an amazing time at Riverbank. The staff is phenomenal. We have everyone is really kind. Lunch, we are allowed to talk to our friends most of the time. I'm gonna move on. I have a bunch of friends that I've made over the years through the launch program, which is an advanced learning program that I will carry to middle school and hopefully lead to AP classes. What I wanted to speak about tonight is a policy at lunch, where they play this music, and when the music's on, we aren't allowed to speak to each other. This music goes on for more than half of lunch, and we just can't talk to friends while we eat. They say it's to stop. They say it's to help kids eat lunch instead of talk and waste all the time, but this policy is entirely unfair in my opinion because we need to be able to talk because we have a limited recess of only 20 minutes or less, and lunch is only 20 minutes. Usually the music goes on for about 11 to 13 minutes from the timing that me and my friends have done. But like I said, we have an amazing facility with amazing staff and a bunch of opportunities in the school for moving on and also making friends. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may, Jackson, great job, bud. Standing up in front of a mic is hard as can be, and you did it with grace, so good job, bud.
All right, we're gonna move on into our administrative divisions, and I'm gonna turn it over to Dr. Cooper for our superintendent update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board, and members of the Lexington2 community. As we enter the month of May, I want to take just a moment to reflect on a theme that is present across our district right now, and that is new beginnings. This is a special time of year in the life of a school district, season filled with celebrations, transitions, accomplishments, reflections, and anticipation for what's coming next. Across our district, our youngest learners are preparing to move from kindergarten to first grade. Our fifth graders are preparing to take that next step to middle school. Our eighth graders are looking to take a bigger step into high school. And of course, we met some of our elite graduates and wonderful students this morning getting ready to walk across the stage and begin the next phase of their journey. But these new beginnings are not limited to our traditional ceremonies. This week, we were able to celebrate a wonderful group of students with the adult ed community. Our students there have shown extreme perseverance and determination, courage in their educational journey, and have just simply overcome more than some of us have even ever thought of. Their accomplishments remind us that learning is lifelong, it is never easy, and is never too late, and we applaud them. We also spent some time last week with our target graduates, which is always a special time of year, in a very deeply meaningful experience where we look at our students who have disabilities and special needs and how they move through with pride and independence and perseverance at the promise of a continued opportunity for them and their family. And all of this matters. Each one represents a student who has grown, a family who has supported, and a teacher or teachers who have encouraged, a support staff member who has come alongside, and school leaders who have created the conditions for success, and a community that always continues to believe in the promise of every child. As we reflect on these milestones, we're also reminded of something that we know to be true in Lexington2, and it really and truly does take a village. The success of our students is not the result of one person, one program, one classroom, or one school alone. It is a result of the many people working together with shared commitment to our children. It is our educators, our staff, our families, our school board, our business partners, our local businesses and industries, our retirees, volunteers, our civic organizations, our faith-based partners, and community members who continue to show up for us in meaningful ways. They give their time and their resources, they offer their expertise, they mentor, they encourage, support, they volunteer, they partner and invest in the future of our students. So whether they are helping create workplace experiences or supporting school events, donating supplies, encouraging our teachers, assisting families, reading, mentoring, serving on committees, attending celebrations, or simply asking, how can we help? Their presence makes a difference, and that is the village. And in Lexington2, we're very grateful for that. On behalf of our district, I want to express my sincere appreciation to every business partner, local industry leader, retiree, civic group, our faith-based leaders, our volunteers, our parents, our guardians, our community organizations, our supporters who walked alongside us this year. Your partnership has strengthened our schools and support of our staff, expanded opportunities for our students, and this reminds us that public education is at its best when the entire community can come together and surround our children. When we meet again in June, many of these celebrations will have taken place. The tassels will have already been moved to the left side of the cap. The certificates will have been awarded. The hugs and the photographs will have been shared. Families will have celebrated milestones that they will remember for years and years to come. And by then, this school year will be coming to a close. At the same time, we're already turning our attention toward what comes next. The planning, the preparation, the positioning of Lexington2 for a strong new beginning of our own as we look into next school year. That is the rhythm of our school district and public education. We celebrate what has been accomplished, and then we immediately begin preparing for what's ahead. We honor the endings, but we do not stop there. We use those moments to build momentum for the future. And as interim superintendent, I am incredibly proud of the work happening across our schools in this season. I'm proud of our students for reaching these important milestones. I'm proud of our educators and staff for helping them get there. I'm grateful for our families and community partners who continue to walk beside us in this work. And I am proud that in Lexington2, we continue to be guided by our commitment to be champions for children, not only at the beginning of the journey, but at every transition point along the way. May is a month of endings, but more importantly, it is also a month of beginnings. And as with our students and as they move forward in new chapters, we do so too with gratitude, hope, and a continued belief that when a village surrounds its children, the future is full of promise. Thank you, Mr. Cook.
All right, we're gonna move on into finance now, and I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Strickland.
Good evening to everyone. Tonight I have the April financial statements as well as the pupil activity funds. They were uploaded last week for your preview. Are there any questions?
Mr. Chair, I've got two requests. If either the June, but probably more the kickoff August meeting, if we can get a report of the cleanup, the year-end closeout of the pupil activities, you know, to make sure that those things that should be rolling over or rolling off are cleaned up. So just a report by school of kind of where we're starting the year. That's one. And then number two, with the new PTO, whatever that give backs program, if we can make sure that it's aligned with JJE and the start of year budgets. My big thing, and I mentioned this here and prior, but I want to make sure that our fundraising through PTOs, et cetera, relates to an actual need. And that need should be stated at the beginning of the year per our JJE and our policies, so that we are not just chasing fundraising just to do it at the expense of kids in classrooms that can't pay for this or that, et cetera. So however we want to do that come August, I think that we need to start, as board, we need to set the expectation that fundraising is going to have a purpose, a valid, needed purpose. That'll also help us in future years to make sure that our budgets make sense. Thank you.
Noted. Thank you.
Any other questions on finance? All right, without objection, the monthly financial reports are accepted as presented. And now I'm gonna turn it over to Human Resource to Ms. Hucks. You on?
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair, board members, Dr. Cooper, I do have the vacancy report for you as of this afternoon. As you know, contracts and letters of intent were due back last week, so we've been really busy in our department. But I'm happy to report that we have currently 28 support staff vacancies, 22 regular ed vacancies, and 8 special education vacancies. Are there any questions?
All right.
Thank you.
No questions. We're gonna move on to Dr. McDonald.
Thank you,
For
sir.
instructional.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Tonight, I have just one thing to share with you, which is very unusual, I might add. We are beginning the, for lack of a better way to describe it, autopsy phase of the year, because now we've got to go through all the data and the numbers, and soon we'll start to figure out where we landed. But tonight, I did want to build on what Dr. Burgraff had shared with you earlier, some of the work we've been doing in math all year. The document that you have basically gives you an overview of some things that we've been doing to enhance math teaching and learning. You heard about the OGAP, the Ongoing Assessment Project, through the State Department. That work has been made possible through something referred to as the Palmetto Math Project, which the state of South Carolina kicked off this year. We were fortunate to have 3 schools that were selected to participate in that work directly But because we were so excited about the work that they were doing, the State Department allowed all of our schools to do some partner work, which is how we were able to provide that very expensive training for our teachers free of charge. Thanks to the State Department, they really helped us with that. And we'll continue that work this year with some additional pieces and some more training related to that same kind of that ongoing assessment project. You also see in this document just a reminder about Zern Math, which we're using district-wide. That's used K-8. All of our elementary and middle schools are using that program. Casey Elementary School was able to receive some additional coaching and support this year through the State Department, and now we've been allowed to apply for some additional schools to participate in that more intensive coaching work. But our teachers have all been trained in that program. We've been very excited to see some of the results that we've been able to get this year and look forward to really being able to share some of that out. And the best part is our kids will have access to that over the summer. So if our families want to put kids on Zern over the summer to get some extra math help and support, they can still do that. And that work will continue in the year. But just wanted to provide you with that overview of some of the intensive math work that we've been doing this year.
Mr. Chair, three things. One, Zern over the summer is awesome. Can we make sure that we put something out? It's very easy for parents like me to be able to, when the kid's annoying you 2 weeks into summer and you want to really use their brain. One, two, the 26-27 Zern application, when will we find out about that from Dee?
I don't know that we have been notified of when we'll find out. We've basically asked for additional support for all of our elementary schools and hopefully the middle schools as well. But we don't have a timeline from the State Department yet.
Hopefully before
Yes.
next school year.
Yes.
And then last but not least, I know we don't have it on here, but in the world of instruction, K2 tech plan, whatever, fantastic work on that. So kudos to you and your team for staying on the top of this crazy fast world we live in now.
Thank you.
Appreciate
We
you.
expect to have an update on that K-12 in our June meeting. So
Fantastic.
Yep, thank you.
Any other questions? All right. We're going to move on to operations and turn over to Mr. Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dr. Cooper, in front of you tonight, as is our monthly standard operations update with CPIF ongoing projects as we move towards completion on the vast majority of those, and also an update for what's going on in the world of operations and facilities and maintenance and safety, and also student support services this past month. Just hit a few highlights. We have a big training coming up the 1st of June that we lead here with multiple jurisdictions coming and training and learning with our school administrators. It's a great opportunity to kind of continue to fine-tune our emergency response protocols and procedures, and also, good things continue to happen in facilities and maintenance that you see listed before you and student support services. The summer is always big for training, continuing to get better in all areas, and excited about a lot of the growth we'll see, this summer with some good things we have going on in our department. So happy to answer any questions.
No questions? All right. Seeing as we have no old business, we're going to move into new business now, and the first item of business will be consideration of the first reading of the proposed 2026-2027 general fund budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. At your places, you have handouts regarding this presentation. As a follow-up from our last budget workshop, you have here a presentation that will present to you a balanced budget. As a reminder, our board policy DB guides our work with regard to bringing a recommendation for a balanced budget. And then the next slide, as a reminder, the text box on the left is a summation of the Board of Trustees priorities. And then on the right is a summation of the district and school priorities. As you'll see, they are almost identical, not exactly, line for line. And at this point, I'm going to ask Ms. Strickland to begin discussing the budget calendar.
Okay, the budget calendar, May 7th, we had a board work session on the budget. May 21st, which is tonight, will be our first reading on the budget. Also in May, the Senate passed their version of the budget, and the House passed version 2 of the budget. Late May, Finance Department will publish the notice of the public hearing In June, any conference committee meetings necessary by the state will be had to determine the final budget. And June 18th, we will have public hearing before our regular meeting and our final reading of the budget. So the items included in the 26-27 budget for consideration. Approximately $3,000 was added to all cells on the teacher salary schedule. We added $3,000 to teacher assistant, computer lab managers, and additional education assistant salary schedules. We added $2,000 to other support staff salary schedules. Those include physical therapists, occupational therapists, maintenance, psychologists, nurses, career development facilitators, interpreters, office support, and computer technicians. A 2% increase to administrator salary schedule, a 2% increase to bus drivers and aides on the minimum bus driver salary schedule, and all eligible employees receive a step increase for their year of experience. Also included were increases to academic and athletic supplements and increases to the hourly rate for extra work. You should have copies of those salary schedules at your places.
Part of this budget also provides for additional academic programs and supports. This year, we will be purchasing and providing a robust, specific curriculum for our multilingual learners that will provide us additional support in those classes across the district. That is a K-12 investment. We also will be providing and implementing the full curriculum for our reading intervention services in our early grades that will actually extend through upper elementary and into middle school for next year. So we will have that program in place, and that is a very intensive reading-focused initiative. This also increased our hourly wages for teachers who engage in after-school activities such as Lex 2.5, our summer curriculum writing, in other areas by $5 per hour, and it adds additional positions in the academic world for a school counselor at the Innovation Center that will focus on career development and also working with students to do that long-term planning, a multilingual support teacher to help lower our average class sizes for those programs, and an additional speech teacher to also lower our student-teacher ratio.
As far as athletic programs, continue to make that a focus for us. Obviously, a lot more of the areas we continue to focus on, along with many others, but really wanted to focus this year more so on middle school stipends for our athletic coaches. So you'll see a 10% increase in the stipends there. Those stipends, do range between the $1,000 to $2,000 mark in there. So that 10% isn't a substantial monetary hit to the budget, but definitely provides some much needed support and kudos for the work they put in with their student athletes. And then a 2% at the high school level, and also additional days for our coaches at the high school level that we do distribute amongst all sports, male and female sports. We do that equitably. That's a priority for us. And then some more funding for our high school athletic programs you'll see, and also athletic trainer supplies was something that came to our attention from the board, so we responded to that. And then continuing to make after-school security a focus for us, and making sure SROs, we have funding to have folks at games and activities to make sure we're covered, as safety is an utmost priority for us.
So on this slide, you will see the line items for the additions. I'm not going to read them each amount for each one. It includes increases to instructional salaries, support salaries, supplements, positions added. Also, we were able to reduce these costs by transferring career technology education positions to state funds, phase 1 of staffing alignment, retirement rate adjustments, and adjustment to the insurance. The overall change of salaries is $2,150,571. This is our fiscal year 26-27 general fund projected revenue. The revenue is listed by line item to show the variance from the proposed budget to the current budget. The proposed budget is based on the House Ways and Means projections. The local revenue had an increase of $1,088,157. State revenue had an increase of $2,211,613. The total increase of $3,299,770. The fiscal year 26-27 projected general fund expenditures. Of the requested general fund budget, 84% is salary and fringe. Of this percent, 65% is instructional salary and fringe, and 35% is support services. The remaining 16% of the general fund budget is programs and operations, items such as energy, substitutes, custodial services, software, supplies, etc. Okay, now we're going to talk about local revenue and our operating millage. On this slide, you will see our mills compared to our surrounding districts. I did add on this slide the approximate value of a mill for each of the districts, so you would have that for reference. The legislatively imposed millage cap. The consumer price index increased 2.63% from calendar year 24 to calendar year 25. This tracks the cost of living. The estimated population of Lex School District 2 increased 0.31%. Combining these two components yields a cap of 2.94% on the millage rate for Lexington 2 for fiscal year 26-27. That equates to 5 mills. Also available to us are 4.8 look-back mills. Utilizing both of these allows us to capture 9.8 mills, which would increase our revenue by approximately $2,649,000. The recommended budget uses the current allowable plus the look-back mills. At the workshop, Ms. Burkett asked about the impact of the operating millage. So increasing our current millage from 171.3 to 181.1. The secondary legal residence, which would be like your rental properties, if the appraised value is $250,000, the approximate cost of that increase of millage would be $147 a year. On a car or a boat with an appraised value of $38,000, that cost would be approximately $22.34. And you see for a commercial property as well. Our fund balance, we're sitting at a good position as of June 30th, 2025. I will not know where we are currently until we have our audit for the current year. But I want to remind you, the State Department of Education requires that 8.33%. The GFOA, the Government Finance Officers Association, recommends 16.7% fund balance. And I did add on here our board policy, DIB, says 10% of next year's approved general fund budget. So if this budget does pass, that would be $13,215,496. So we are sitting at a good place right now with fund balance.
So we offer you a balanced budget at $132,154,962 by utilizing 9.8 mills, generating 2.649 in revenue, and then dipping into fund balance, none. And with that, the recommendation of the administration is that you would consider passing first reading of the budget as presented.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve first reading of the proposed 2026-2027 general fund budget with reducing the millage increase from 9.8 mills to 2 mills and using the remaining funds from the fund balance.
I had a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Ms. Wooten. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just, when I looked at, well, first of all, the budget that was submitted, I feel like it does a good job starting to close the gap between our teachers' salaries and our neighboring districts. In the budget workshop, we were 36 on average teacher pay, and we were, a good bit behind our neighboring districts. So I wanted to make sure we closed the gap with, especially with the face-to-face teachers that are in the classrooms, as well as the teachers' assistants. So I think we did a good job there with Ms. Rucker's amendment. I looked at the budget workshop, and here's what we've added each year to the general fund balance. In 2023, 4.8 million. In 2024, 1.9 million. 2025, 3.4 million. So we've submitted balanced budgets all of those years, but it's kind of what I've said before, though. What happens is I think we said 90% of our budget is salaries. People leave and they're not replaced. There's, I call that a little bit of float. So I even think with Ms. Rucker's motion that at the end of the year, there's a possibility we don't use any of that general fund balance, and it stays at the levels that was presented earlier. So I'm excited about that motion, and I think it does a good step. Again, the other thing we talked about in the budget workshop is closing the matrix. We're not quite there yet. It takes a while, but there's too much discrepancies between one level and the matrix, and we want to try to start closing that down. You can't do it overnight, but I think it just does take a step there as well. So that's why I support Ms. Rucker's motion.
Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Trey, please.
A couple questions. First one, I would love to see maybe in the off-season, the board consider our BD, I think it's BD policy, putting a fund balance max so that we don't have to kind of have this conversation over and over. I don't think we should be in the 25%, 26%, maybe we determine it should probably max at 22, something of that. I just think that makes a lot of sense for the budget world to be able to say, hey, this is not where we're going to grow the fund balance to, especially with the float or the vacancy management world. So just something for all of us to kind of consider. The look back 4.9 mils, especially now if we're looking at 2, do you happen to know those by year right now? And if you don't, that's fine. We've got time. I just want to know which one, if that 4.9 is all 3 years ago, how much of that's use or lose look back?
We would not lose any.
So 3 years ago, we used everything up?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's great.
Yes.
That just means that if we don't use those 4.9 mils this year, we don't lose those 4.9 mils. So if something crazy changes in next year, those 4.9 mils are sitting in last year or the year prior's bank, not the third year. That's really important, because if we do, life can change quick. If we do have to come say, hey, taxpayers, we need more of your money, which hopefully we don't have to say that, we at least have that mechanism next year. That was super important to me. The retirement rate adjustment, can you give me a little, if y'all spoke about that at the workshop, I apologize, but if you can give me just one sentence on how we're doing that, or if it was just something through PIBA that benefits us.
I'm trying to find my slide. The current retirement rate budget for this current year was 25.91%. And when I did the budget for this current year, that's all I could go on.
Okay.
But we've received the rate for next year, which will be what it is this year at 24.66%. So that is
And if I remember last year, we were kind of concerned that was probably going to bump back up.
right.
So that's a win for us.
So we're good at 24.66%.
Fantastic. If we reduce the overall revenue coming in from 9.8 mils to 2 mils, we have done good in the past 2 years making money off of our float, our investments. Is that going to make much of a difference to that line item in the revenue?
I have increased that line item on the revenue budget. If you look.
I saw it's at 1.5 now.
Yes.
Settled out.
It currently is 1 million for this year.
Right, but we ended up being.
I increased it $500,000.
Are you worried about that dropping at all if we drop from 9.8 mils to 2? It should be pretty minimal, but I just want to make sure we're catching that. If we're having less revenue coming in and we potentially taking money out of the fund reserve, the fund balance.
I think we'll be fine.
We'll be fine? Mm-hmm. Great. I think that was the only other kind of big concern is if we cut it. And then lastly, on our hourly, our changes to our hourly FTEs. to make sure I get that right, the $5 that Dr. McDonald spoke to, that is kind of like pre-allotted money because we know exactly how many hours we're gonna use for Lex.2.5, and that's like an allotment or an additional pay. That's not an hourly employee, correct? They're just getting hourly supplements. Now, for our hourly employees getting a pay increase, which we don't have a ton of those, how do we as a district manage that we don't get into a kind of a red space with a lot of overtime? Is that something we have to worry about, or is that something that we have pretty good internal controls on?
We have pretty good internal controls on that. Payroll manages those timesheets.
Okay.
So when we see an hourly person going into overtime, we reach out to the principals and try to address the situation.
My only concern was there is if we're doing a large increase to hourly, which I fully support, I just want to make sure those controls are in place that overtime doesn't 1.5 kneecap us on every one of those. I think that is all I have. I appreciate the hard work on this, and it's exciting stuff. Good work. Thank you.
Ms. Burkett?
Mr. Chairman, I have a lot of concern about this budget. I'm going to round the numbers off, so please forgive me. Last year, our budget was about $124 million. What we're proposing tonight is a $132 million budget. It increases by almost $9 million. Of that, Ms. Strickland was kind enough to tell us that the increase in salaries, which is what we were concerned about, is $2,150,000. So somehow we have found another $6.5 million that we would like to spend. And it's been enumerated to us where it is. And if you paid attention to those charts that we were shown, it's increase, 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 increase. And I'm talking about all of us in this community that are involved in Lexington2, we do not make any money. We don't sell a product, we don't sell a service, okay? We don't make any money. The only way that we get money is that we are given money or that we request the taxpayer to pay in more. And so it's kind of like a kid in a candy store. I can kind of come to you and say, well, I would like to spend this much more at Target, and you have to give me the money. You don't really have any choice about it. And so I am in total agreement with the fact that we want to raise our teacher salaries, that we want to have a good pay scale. But as I said, we're only talking about $2.15 million in that category. So I'm not really sure how we managed to come up with all the rest of this. The other thing is this, the economy affects everybody. It doesn't just affect teachers, and we have talked a lot about that we would like our teachers and the employees of the district to make more money. But, I mean, people who own businesses, we just really quickly went by that little thing that said that's an additional $477 on every so much that a business owns in property or what have you. I'm sorry, I don't know all the details of that. But the point is the economy affects everybody, and everybody is feeling it. Now, let me just say that the previous budget that you gave us, everybody got a $2,000 raise. There was no millage increase, and we had the option of giving everybody an additional $1,000 bonus to come from the fund. And as you've seen, we have millions of dollars in the fund. And so we actually could accomplish the same thing without any millage increase at all. And so I don't know why really in this economy sitting here tonight that we are talking about increasing our budget by almost $9 million, which is about 6.45%. There are very few businesses that could manage that. If they came to you and said, hey, by the way, if Spectrum came to you and said, I'm raising by 6.45%, you'd probably be pretty unhappy about that. And so I just have concern about it, and I don't know the answers to these questions, but the concern is there.
Is there any other questions?
I want to say something.
Okay.
I think it's great that we are taking the steps to take care of the teachers and our support staff, and and I fully agree with what Ms. Rucker said, going into general and not raising millage as much. And Mr. All, thank you so much for explaining things with numbers, because those of us that are not math geniuses, it really helps to explain with the general fund and all of that. So I think it's great. I think we have it, you know, the economy is bad everywhere, but with that being said, you know, some of our support staff and our teachers are struggling even to buy gas, buy groceries, and as Mr. Key said today, it was great being at Brooklyn Casey this morning and seeing all of those kids walk across that stage, and the love and everything that was there with the community and our staff and everything. But at the end of the day, if we are not competitive with our front line, and those are the people that have our children walked across that stage today because of our teachers and because of our support staff, and then because of the support that our administration and this board gives them, and we have to stay competitive. And to do that, sometimes you just got to take a leap. And so I applaud that we're doing this. And I'm grateful that our teachers that stay with us for as long as they do and are loyal, and our first-year teachers, that we are able to give them somewhat of being competitive with all of our surrounding districts, because we did have some that weren't able to return to us this year, because $300 a month or $200 a month is a lot when you're on a budget. So I understand everybody's concern, but I applaud this budget that we got. I applaud everybody that has worked to kind of make it work, and I think it's just a good thing all the way around.
I just have one point of clarification, Ms. Burkett. Our current budget is $128,855,192. So the budget we're asking for is $132,154,962.
Okay.
That difference is roughly $3.3 million.
Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to make that clarification.
What was the cost value of the mill for us right now?
277.
277K?
Yep.
Yeah, I was just gonna suggest the chart you had on the millage with Ms. Rucker's motion for the second reading, update it based on the two mills, because it's not, it wasn't the $440, it'll be something, as Ms. Burkett said, it'll be somewhat less than that. You know, the one out.
Yeah.
Quick math shows that that's gonna drop us by 2.16 million, putting the raise to 1.14 million.
Repeat that.
That's gonna drop that 132 number down by 2.16 million, putting us at, we go back to the, other slide, the total budget slide. Yep, that's fine. That 132, you're gonna take that down by 2.16, call it 2.154, and it'll put it right at 130.
And the balance would be funded with fund balance.
Fund balance, correct.
Okay. Could I just ask, does anybody have any concern about funding through the fund balance for a recurring expense? I know that we run over on our fund balance all the time, but we're talking about a $3,000 raise that we give this year, that will go on into perpetuity. And so that means that hypothetically, every year, we might have to dip into the fund balance.
And I think that's an excellent point, but when I looked at it every year, we are submitting a balanced budget, but we're really submitting an over budget, because we're growing the fund balance. So I think if we, something we can discuss going forward, let's see where we end, but I don't think we're gonna be dipping into that. I think I think at the end of the day, we're not really gonna be dipping into that fund balance, because I think we kind of over budget, have the taxpayers maybe more than maybe they should to, and it's going in the general fund. So I understand your point, but I truly believe when I see the history of this, that might not be the case.
Just one additional question. I mean, since we have this huge fund balance, why don't we utilize that for things like our $50,000 for each of the high schools for sports? I mean, why don't we just take that out and use it? Why don't we build that into a new budget that we're having to increase millage on? Why don't we just use some of it?
That's gonna be a reoccurring expense each year to keep the schools up to.
And so are the salaries.
To your point though, Mrs. Burkett, that's what we're doing with this one, is we're saying, hey, we're gonna pull it out of the fund balance, and to Mr. All's point, is if we're doing not to call it a Sally, but if we're doing the same as last year plus budget every year, which that's for the most part what we do, for better or worse. But last year, we're putting a burn rate of 97% when we're budgeting for 100, which is typically what happens year over year over year, even with our people activity fund. That's why I bring it up every time. That 3% or 2% of kind of float is what we should be taking that out of, instead of just asking for millage increase and then watch, to Mr. All's point, $3 million get added to the fund balance. And because when we start getting that reserve fund at 23, 24, 25%, we're basically saying, hey, all you wonderful people in our district, we want to levy more taxes on you, but we're not going to spend those taxes. We're going to go put those taxes in a bank account. We're going to take it out of your paycheck, and we're going to put it in our huge paycheck, and we're going to get a little bit of interest on it. We've done good on our interest, so we're at least good stewards of it, but that's not what we should be doing. I think we need to spend 2 or 3 years, Trey's opinion, getting the matrix cleaned back up, which that's the biggest thing this one does, and it makes me super excited. 6 years now of pushing hard for that, but also cleaning up that budget. I know you always want to be conservative, because it's been good. You know, we have one bad year, and that conservatism comes out well. But let's really start cleaning up so that we know our same as last year isn't increasing that fund balance an extra 2 or 3% that we didn't budget for. Is that?
Yeah, totally agree.
And that's why I asked the look back question. This 2 mills, I don't want to tax anybody. I mean, I think most people know kind of where I stand on taxation, but the 2 mills, we still have a bank to go to if something goes crazy next year, if the world turns on its head. If we didn't, then I'd be kind of concerned, but adding a 2%, that's almost to a kind of cost of living set. I don't want us to constantly be like we are, where we're asking for millage. I would love 6 months into this budget to really look at it and determine if, you don't see it around here often, but we can always give back mills. That could happen next year. We don't have to come to the constituency and say, hey, we need more of your money. We're going to give you some back. We trust you to do what's right with it. So I've talked too much. Thank you.
Ms. Strickland, did we do it isn't 3,000 in every cell, because didn't we start on about 21 and we adjusted? Because
Yes,
we were
it's
trying to get the bottom and the top numbers
It was
closer.
approximately 3,000 on every cell.
On every cell.
Approximately.
The teacher's salary schedule, approximately.
I want to make sure about that. I don't want it where
That's-
some are being
appro-
taken away.
Approximately $3,000
Okay,
on
yeah.
every cell.
But we did take some of them that were kind of out of line down. Remember to where it was a
With
little.
a max.
Yeah, we started on about 21, and 21 through 30. And we were not going to do that across the board, because we were trying to bring them closer to the middle.
Right.
So did that happen?
Yeah, we had a scale. Each scale was anywhere from range from 3,000 to 4,400. Correct. 44 was the cap of it. Yeah.
But everyone got,
Correct. Everyone got
okay,
a bump.
of at
Plus
least,
step of at least 3.
of at least 3,000 plus a step. I think we need to
Correct.
make sure everybody understands that.
Correct.
Okay. Because if not, we gotta regroup. Okay.
Approximately 3,000 plus a step.
Correct.
Everyone got close to 3,000 plus a step.
Yeah.
Correct.
But
Which is what the bottom raise was. We went from 51 to 54,
Yes.
starting
For
salary.
bachelor's, 0.
Yes,
Starts
okay.
at 54,000.
Okay.
All right. Is there any other questions on the budget? Everybody good? Clear as mud? All right. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
All right. Motion carries 6-1. All right, we're gonna go down into still in new business. Consideration of forgiving staff workday on March 16th, 2026 by a memo that was sent out.
Chair, I move that we forgive staff workday on March 16th as noted.
Second.
Had a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Next one is consideration of 2026-27 release time for religious construction.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the administration's recommendation for the 26-27 release time for religious instruction.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just had a
Mr.
question.
Bray?
I don't know if I saw it anywhere. Is it all schools? I know that for a while we were
That's
all,
all. That's all.
schools. Thank you.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any nays? Motion carries. All right, next one is consideration of 26-27 course approval for middle school new course request forms.
Mr. Chairman, this is, as we earlier this year approved some additional middle school course offerings, this is another set of those. This is helping us get more of a variety of courses for our middle schools as we build out pathways from elementary to middle to high. This is helping us build those out. And so these are the next 5 of those courses that we're asking the board to approve for us to be able to offer potentially some of these as early as the fall.
Mr. Chair. I sent it to you, I don't know if you got it, I think you did, but I would love to see some type of typing proficiency added to at least these base levels. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me to have a second level taught IT type of class in 7th grade if you're still typing versus actually typing. I don't know what verbiage we would do, I don't want us just to gloss over it and not take it serious, so I will happily approve these classes. I think they make a great foundation for what we've got building on the Kate and all the other stuff that we do. But we 100% need a typing proficiency prerequisite for these classes.
We can certainly look at, what kinds of materials are put into these curriculum as we build them out. Typing itself is actually not something that the State Department, even for the last 10 years, has not even been a thing. In fact, you used to be able to take a typing course. Those aren't even offered anymore. And we don't even offer a Google Basics anymore because we've gotten so advanced. To your point, yes, we still need to teach kids those skills, but that is not something that is immediately as a course that we would offer in middle school. Now, can those types lessons be added into some of these introductory pieces? Absolutely.
To your point, that last 10 years, it wasn't just South Carolina, it's the whole nation. And as someone who hires a lot of people right out of college, we have people that their salary should be reduced because their efficiency at working is highly degraded because they can't stink and type. And I don't want us as a district to be setting our kids up for failure. I want, if a Lex2 kid gets hired somewhere, I want that hiring manager or program manager or whomever to say, my goodness, we got somebody who's more bang for the buck. Let's hire more Lex2 kids. And I think even if federal or state DE don't push it, it's something that we must do here. So be it a prerequisite for this, or be it figuring out how we have our, Tuesday morning class, whatever. We've got a lot of white space in there. Let's make it to where our kids know how to use the computer and have a foundation for typing and navigating Google or Microsoft Office or having 75 tabs open on their Chrome, etc.
Is there any other questions on that?
Make a motion.
We don't need a motion on that. That's just information only, right, for the board?
We need to approve.
We
have to
we
consider
think we
We
do
have to
need to
make a
approve
motion.
that, yes. You all do need
For
to
the
vote to
forms?
approve
Okay.
that, yes.
For the consideration of the course approvals. Okay. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve for the middle schools 26-27 course approvals to include Introduction to Computer Science, Introduction to Coding, Robotics 1, Robotics 2, and Computer Repair.
Second.
All right, had a motion and a second. Any more discussion on them? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, next is out-of-state travels.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the administration's recommendation for four out-of-state overnight student travel requests, Airport High School and BC High School Golf to attend Lower State in Hardyville, and we're ratifying that. That was May 10th through the 12th. BC High School theater students to attend Backstage Broadway, New York City, February 11th through the 16th, 2027. If y'all need a chaperone, let me know. BC High School Orchestra to attend Disney Imagination Campus, Orlando, Florida, March 24th through the 29th, 2027.
All right, had a motion, I had a motion and a second, and we're gonna have one recusal on this vote, so all in favor say aye.
Mr. Chair, I got a question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
Fully support it, and I'll be voting yes. I just want to make sure that fiscal law-wise, we don't have a budget approved. Is it okay that we're approving an expense and a trip in a budget that's not approved? Fully support us doing it. I just want to make sure that legally we're not setting ourselves up for any kind of hold.
I think that those will be funded through Pupil Activity Fund.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, any other discussions? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0 on that one. I'm sorry, Ms. Castles.
Okay.
All right, and then I got one more on the, we have a consideration for one out-of-state overnight staff travel request, BC High School teacher to attend AP Summer Institute in Athens, Georgia, June 22nd through the 26th.
Second.
All right, had a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. All right, now, we are now at 7G, consideration first reading and approval of some proposed revisions to board policies.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to make one motion. I'm going to read all of the policies that are being requested by administration for first reading tonight. And then if there is any questions about any one individually, we'll just take them one at a time. So we're not making, I believe it's about 12 individual
Or
motions.
pull it out.
Okay, we'll pull it out at that time. All right. I make a motion that we approve the administration's recommendation for first reading of the following policies. Policy AC, non-discrimination, equal opportunity. Policy GBA, open hiring, equal opportunity, and affirmative action. Policy GBAA, sexual harassment and retaliation. Policy GCE, professional staff recruitment. Policy GCEC, posting and advertising of professional vacancies. Policy GCF, professional and support staff hiring. Policy GDF, support staff hiring. Policy IHA, basic instructional program. Policy IIA, grouping for instruction. Policy JB, equal educational opportunity, non-discrimination. AR, GBAA-R, sexual harassment and retaliation. AR, JIAA-R, sexual harassment and retaliation.
All right, had a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Had a second by Ms. Rucker. All right, any discussion?
Yes, sir. First question is, did these recommendations come from a board member, SCASBA, internal counsel, or external counsel, or something else?
Mr. Bray, these every year the EEO language is visited with our administrative attorneys. This recommendation comes from our administrative attorney's White Story, as it does every year, and that's been shared with Mr. Edwards.
Thank you. Mr. Edwards, question for you, not to put you on the spot, because I didn't get a chance to send this ahead of time, but if you are so willing to answer now, it seems, you probably know that I've been frustrated that every year we kind of chase case law. And so every year we're paying to change things, And to one of our earlier conversations, or one of our public speakers, are we setting ourselves up for failure by constantly moving case law, chasing case law, because somebody whose protected status that we felt the need to nuance into a policy was either pulled or put after the fact, versus following what the typical state and federal world does, is say, we're gonna follow state and federal law. That's the open-ended question to you. If you would like to opine, great. If you wanna look back at it and kind of get us something, this frustrates the heck out of me because we do it every stinking year, and I just feel like external or administrative counsel is just gonna get us in trouble. When we could very simply say, we're not gonna discriminate and we're gonna follow state and federal laws, period. Thank you. To that point, I don't think that we need to have the most nuanced policy for everything at the board level. I think we hire a great superintendent who hires great employees and makes great handbooks through the HR world. These nuance items, we're paying White and Story, I guess, at this time, or whomever each time, to go give us these case law changes and red mark. Scroll to the bottom of that, please. Every one of these, you're gonna see the red marking is based off of, keep going. All right. Well, keep going. You'll see where it references whatever the case law is. Don't worry about it, this one must be really long. But there's a change to the case law. So if a case happens in wherever court next week, then realistically, we have to keep updating this. And so we've got to have a whole discussion on it. We've got to have legal counsel to it. Whereas if we keep the policy, hey, as the board, we want our district to follow the law, plain and simple. Then it becomes an administrative thing for the district to follow the law. So I'm asking our board to consider doing that, but we don't have to make a decision. You know, if you like that idea, I would say don't vote yes or no for any way right now. Go look at so many other entities that do this. Outside of South Carolina School Board, I can't find entities, public, tax levying entities that get into this nuance over and over and over, to include corporate bodies that don't do this. So I don't think it's nefarious. I think it's just we've gone down this road and it just becomes how it goes. But I would like us to really, really consider that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Bray, could I just ask a question just for clarification? Like, for instance, on this policy AC, when it says the purpose is to establish the basic structure for conduct of district programs in compliance with applicable laws, we would just say.
Period.
We follow all state and federal laws.
Yeah, these are all board, absolutely. These are all board policies where us 7-member political board are telling our superintendent what we expect to happen in our district. And so these policies, there's some districts in the state who have kind of broken from SCASBA, and they do much more kind of refined, different policies. I wouldn't say one's right or wrong. It's up for us to determine. But those policies simply say, we're gonna follow state and federal law. We're not gonna discriminate in our district, which I think we all agree, we don't wanna discriminate in our district. But when we start getting nuance and say, we're gonna not discriminate against this or that, and we're gonna change it based off of case law, this is exactly what happens. 6 years in, we're changing these constantly. We're instead of chasing a goalpost that's moving, we're just chasing case law, when we could very simply say, as the board, we want our district to not discriminate. And we're gonna do that by following state and federal law, period. And that whole policy is now this big. That's my point. That's why I'll be voting no to this, because I think it's time for us to kind of take ownership of saying, hey, we're the board, this is what we want of our district. We don't need to put 77,000 words off of a mock-based policy that, you know, 1 or 2 councils push out across the whole district and bill for it.
Well, and I will say, I mean, it does leave room for asking the question like, do y'all, meaning us, not care about non-English speakers?
Right.
Well, I mean, of course we care about them. I mean, this has nothing to do with us making a decision about that. It is the EOC doing something, and we're just trying to get along. And so I think it's easy for people to read into that we are saying something about our school district when in fact we're not.
100%.
Mr. Hall?
Is there, and I totally agree, is there any risk that we still have this policy here that maybe doesn't have the same wording that the case law has? You know, I mean, until we get to the time where we can shorten the policy like you suggest. But I totally agree. These get come before the board every other meeting, and I really don't know where they can come from. And the public thinks board members are pushing these changes, right? And we get calls and emails, and they see it the first time I see it, you know, and I totally agree.
If the question's open-ended versus going towards will, I will take in the chance to answer and say, we have to follow law. We don't have to have 77,000 policies. We could have one policy saying, we want this metric to be this. That's our policy. Everything else always reverts to the law side. So that's why I think when I say use the word nuance, that's what I'm saying. We're getting into administrative world when we should just say follow the law, don't discriminate, be an upstanding district, let's do the right thing.
But someone's got to take the effort then to go through that and
Absolutely. And to the good part of that, EEOC and different groups do that, and it would be on the administrative side. I don't believe in ARs really. I think we should just have administrative side of it. But to your point, that's exactly what the administrative side has. They get all these new changes. All right, we update our employee handbook. Our employee handbook's what's the legal side's gonna look at when there's a case that goes anyway. I just don't know why we wanna make our policies get in the weeds.
With all the discussion we're having and back and forth on, why don't we just table this item? And we'll come back next time and have administrative council come to us with some counsel on that.
I don't know if that's a motion, but I'll second it if it is.
That will be a motion. All right. Well, that wraps everything there. We will move on into announcements now.
Did we take a vote on the tabling? Did I miss it?
We have to.
Will, point of order, do we need to make a vote on a tabling action with Robert's rules? Do you know? Should we look it up real quick, take a 30-second pause? The action item was the motion to approve those.
We had a motion. Do we need to have a vote on it? Oh, we'll go ahead and vote. We'll go ahead and vote for it. Yep. All in favor of tabling these policies?
I second the motion.
All right, we got a second. All in favor?
Second. Ray seconded
Hey,
it.
Trey,
We
Trey.
just need
We just need to vote on it.
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion to table it. All right, now we're getting our announcements. Tomorrow, May 22nd, the last half day of school, graduation at Airport High School tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. And May 25th is Memorial Day holiday. May 26th, Teacher Flex Day, and that is their last day. And then report cards coming home May 27th. And now I will entertain a motion to enter an executive session.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the Board of Trustees enter a closed session for the following: consideration of personnel appointments, reappointments, retirements, and resignations, contractual matters regarding new Congaree Elementary project, consideration of requests for early kindergarten admission.
Second.
All right, had a motion and a second. Without any objection, we will enter into executive session.
I make a motion that the meeting be reconvened in open session and the appropriate affidavit executed.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the administration's recommendations for resignations, retirements, terminations, and reappointments.
I had a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the administration's recommendation for motion for consideration concerning property transfer. I move that the board authorize the administration to finalize the property transfer agreement with Lexington Health Incorporated contingent upon the successful completion of the due diligence process. The properties involved in this agreement are identified by Lexington County as TMS number 005738-05-014, comprising approximately 12.57 acres owned by Lexington School District 2, and TMS number 006798-07-004, comprising approximately 4.23 acres owned by Lexington Health Incorporated for the purpose of constructing a new Congaree Elementary School.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All right, being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries 6-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we are